Hello, friends. Today, for the very first time, I'm going to attempt this 7 books in 7 days challenge. I saw Jan Agaton, I know I'm saying it wrong, on YouTube. She attempts this challenge, I'm not sure how often, but she just recently completed this challenge, and I thought that was so cool. I was so inspired to follow her lead and attempt this challenge myself. I recently came back from Iceland for a week where I was not able to read like at all, which was awesome. Like Iceland was awesome, but I had this desire to read a lot when I came back, and then I saw her video and I thought, let's try that. The key word being try. I'm going to try my best. I've never tried to read 7 books in a week. I usually read 100 pages a day. I have done 200 pages. I know I have finished a book within a day in the past, but it is going to be quite the undertaking, and I'm very hyped up. So let's talk about the books that I have on my TBR for this week, but keep in mind that some of these might uh, get swapped out. I might change my mind about some of these, but I'm pretty sure this is set. But if we'll see. The TBR that I'm going to attempt this week is Darcy Coates' Where He Can't Find You. I bought this like as soon as it came out because Jan had it in one of her videos, like recommended books that are coming out. So I bought it and I still haven't gotten to it. So want to get to that. Ask the Bones by Aurelie North, Olson, Howard Schwartz, and David Lynn. I got this at a thrift store. I really like the cover, and it has like true stories in it. Oh, from around the world. So I thought this would be a good one for this TBR because it is a shorter read, and I'm excited to learn about some of these like myths or scary tales from around the world. The one I'm the most excited to get to in this TBR is The Wager. I bought this at a Goodwill for $1. It's in pristine condition. It's by David Graham, and I found the audiobook for this, and it just seems perfect for August. It's like the most beautiful cover, and for a while I've thought I want to get to this in August, so want to read that. Nestling by Nat Cassidy. This cover is so cool. This is also a shorter read. Trial of the Sun Queen. I've been so excited to get to this for a long time, by Nisha Tully. I'm not sure if the 4th book has come out yet, but I saw in a video yesterday like series to read before the next book comes out, and I think it's coming out soon, so this seems like a good book for August and a series to get to because the next book's coming out. I know that people like this series, and I don't know. This cover just screams August to me. Like, it has sun in the cover in the title. This is the book I'm uncertain of. I swapped it out for a longer book that I just don't think is realistic for this week, and it's City of Nightmares by Rebecca Schaeffer. I have also wanted to get to this book for a long time. I think I'm a little discouraged that the second book, the sequel, did not get good reviews, but it seems really interesting. So this is the next book that I want to get to, and the last book is The Measure by Nikki Erlich. I've been looking at this book for a while, and last night, I saw Sid Bookworm talk about it and rave about it, and I was like, that's the sign. That is the book I'm going to listen to for this challenge. That being said, audiobooks are included in these 7 books. Now, I have 6 physical books here, which I will be tandem reading, but I am going to also listen to an audiobook. I might even swap out one of these for an audiobook. Now, books that I really want to read, but are not feasible for this week. But I thought I would show them anyway. Because I thought, let's just say I breeze through these and I have extra time. Then this is what I would read. The Book of Azrael by Amber Nicole. I want to get to this. I took this to Iceland thinking it'd be the perfect book to read in Iceland. They're like Vikings. The Hunger of the Gods by John Gwen. I did not even open the book. There was no time. Fear the Flames. This, I don't know if this takes place in summer, but in my mind, this is a book you read in summer for some reason, by Olivia Darling. Can't wait to read that. And the book I said I was going to read this month, but there still will be time, and that is House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas, the second book in the Crescent City series. I want to read this so bad. But all of these books are 500 pages plus. Some of these, I mean, this book, I should not look at that. I think it's like over 800 pages, I think. So these are not on the TBR. These are on the TBR. For this challenge, I think you have to pick relatively shorter books. These are all 200 plus pages. Oh no, the Bones one may not be, but I think these are all around 200, 350 pages. I'm not going to do the math to see how many pages I need to read each day. I'm just going to attempt to read a book a day. And we'll see how it goes. Now for today, I am going to start the measure because I have things to do today. This is not a day that I can sit on the couch and read all day. I need to do things around the house. I have a video to film. I have a video to edit, and it's already 1. It's not a very good start. It's pretty late. I wanted to be a quarter of a way through a book by now, but it's okay. I slept in and I'm so groggy. My sleep is all jacked up. So I'm just gonna bring you along this week and read these books and talk about them. Duh. I'm excited. I'm really excited for this challenge. I think it's going to be tough, and I think it's going to be really fun, and I just want to read as many books as possible, so this is a good way to get in a bunch of books for August, because I think I've only read 1, and it's August 11th. Fun fact, teachers go back to school today. Today I would be going into work. The kids don't go back yet, but the teachers do, and that's a weird feeling. Now, I'm going to start my audiobook. I'm going to make coffee because my brain isn't working, and start to do things around the house. Like, I have a lot of laundry to do. So I'm going to bring you along. I hope you enjoy. Let's get started with the challenge.
I just did my June wrap-up. Oh, no. My book was starting to play without me. That went pretty smooth, my June wrap-up. I want to do July so bad. Maybe tomorrow. But I'm halfway through the measure. This book is so good. I'm enjoying this book so much. I already have the physical copy on my Amazon cart because if the book keeps going how it's going, it's so good. In this, like, I want the physical copy, is what I was trying to say. In this book, the very beginning of the book, these boxes are showing up all over the world. And in the box is a string. And on the box it says, oh, I forget exactly what it says, but it's like, this is the string is the measure of your life. Of course, the world is freaking out. They're showing up everywhere. Everyone who is 22 and older are getting these boxes. So you can just imagine how this is affecting the entire world. People are opening up their boxes and seeing that they have a really short string. Others have really long strings. And it just, everything goes downhill. It affects people's jobs. It affects so much. There are people that choose not to look at their boxes, and the boxes also can't be destroyed. The string can't be destroyed, and no one knows where these are coming from. Some people think that aliens gave them these boxes. Other people think it's the government. Some people believe it's a higher entity like God gave everyone these boxes. So we're following, I think, 5 or 6 different characters and how they are handling their boxes, or their small string, or their short string or their long string, and how it's affecting relationships. And then the longer these strings are around, people are figuring out how the measure of the string, what it actually means. It's affecting people's jobs. It's so interesting how widespread, how much it's affecting everything, where people are being discriminated for their string, for their the measure of their string, because it affects people's jobs. If you have a really short string and you're going to die soon, then people don't want to hire you, or people don't want to be in a relationship with you. People don't want to trust you with their kids. It's so interesting. I love this dystopian concept in this book. It's so good. And I think just by the cover, you wouldn't think this. The cover almost looks like a romance. It's yellow. Romance books are yellow. And it has this floral arrangement with a string. It does not look the vibe of the book, which I think is interesting. I don't know, were I the designer of this book, I would have made it look a lot darker, because it's a dark book. It's so interesting. So I'm going to continue to listen to the measure. I will for sure finish this today. I have 4 hours left, but I'm listening to it very fast. Oh, no, wait. I have 5 hours left, so I'll definitely finish it this afternoon, and then I'm thinking I'm going to pick up the next book. Since this is a relatively short book, I should be able to get a head start on the next one, but we'll see. I'll update you later. I'm going to start editing this video, and I'm going to drink more coffee because it's so good, and I feel very groggy. All right, let's do an update. I did not update yesterday. It is August 14th. Oh, you can see there. It's Wednesday, and I finished 2 books and I'm halfway through another book. I finished The Measure. That book was so good. I'm buying a physical copy. It had me in tears. I don't want to talk too much about the book because I don't want to spoil it. That's it. It is just beautiful, and it makes you really think a lot about life and the time you have left, and it's that kind of book that really makes you think, and this book is going to stay with me. I can tell, I know that this book is going to be one of those books that I think about for a really long time, and it was just so beautiful and so interesting. I loved it, So obviously that was 5 stars. We started this challenge off really strong with The Measure. I will still say the cover is not my favorite, but I finished that. Then I started reading City of Nightmares. I like the idea of this book that you can turn into your nightmare, but I don't like our protagonist. But I don't think we're supposed to. She is annoying. And the love interest, I don't know. I'm interested, but I have some doubts. Now, we're gonna shift the TBR a little bit. Oh, nope. Then I read Normal People by Sally Rooney. Now, I did listen to Normal People, which I think is a good way to read that book, because in that book there are no quotations, and I know that threw people off, and I think that would throw me off. And it was just a really nice book to listen to. It kind of reminded me of like The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, how it was a beautiful story, but it's a slow story, and I could not physically read that book. I had to listen to it. That's how I feel about Normal People, but Normal People is much shorter. It's not a page turner, but it's a beautiful story. Well, it is like a heartbreaking story, and it's a frustrating story too. Like, even the end, I was like, wait, no, that's it. We are frustrated with our characters, but I did like it. It was a 4-star for me. It's about these 2 people that grew up together, have a really complicated relationship, and how they helped each other grow. And it's like following them from high school to the end of college, I believe. It's like, yeah, it's like the end of college. I like the timeline. I like that we're following them for a long period of time. In a way, it kind of reminded me of Marley and Me, even though like very different stories, but like how that couple, they're just like figuring out life. That's what Normal People is. But yeah, it is also a tough read emotionally. But I've been curious about Normal People for a long time because it blew up when it came out. Everyone loved it, and I do want to get a physical copy of it. But there's the cover that's green and blue, and then there's the one that's like red with the like tuna fish can. That's the one I want. I don't want the cover that's everywhere. So I'm hoping to find that cover, the one that I want, somewhere here. can't even get it on Amazon that I could see. So we're gonna switch up the TBR a little bit because I had the audio for all of these books via Speechify. And 2 days ago, yesterday, I ran out of my Speechify count, which is a whole other thing that I can rant about. But I do love immersion reading. It's my preferred method of reading. And I don't have the audio for any of these books for a few days until my word count renews. So I'm going to put these on hold. Now, I do have the audio for these 3. I went to the bookstore, to 2 bookstores today, and picked up these 3 books that I don't know very much about. So I'm curious about these books. Okay, I got The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. My understanding of this book is that people either loved it or hated it. But it says, Nora's life has been going from bad to worse. Then, at the stroke of midnight, at her last day on Earth, she finds herself transported to a library. There she is given the chance to undo her regrets and try out each of the other lives she might have lived. Which raises the ultimate question, with infinite choices, what is the best way to live? I hadn't even read that yet, but we'll see. So I got this because I have the audio for it. It's a very short read. It's like 290 pages, so I got that. I also got Clara and the Sun. I'm intrigued by this. It says, from her place in the store, Clara, an artificial friend with outstanding observational qualities, watches carefully at the behaviors of those who come in to browse and of those who pass in the streets outside. She remains hopeful a customer will soon choose her, but when the possibility emerges that her circumstances may change forever, Clara is warned not to invest too much in the promises of humans. Seems interesting. We're not following like a person. And I like this cover. There's another cover. I think it has a hand, but this is the UK version. So I think I'm the most curious about this one. So I got that. And then this one, I don't know. I have the audio for it and I love the cover. It's Every Summer After. It is a love story. What I like is that it's a long love story. So it's 6 summers. Wait. Yeah, so it's told over the course of 6 years and 1 week. I'm thinking this is going to be kind of like a tragic love story. Or maybe that's what I'm hoping for. I don't want some cutesy love story. This seems like it's going to be kind of similar to Normal People, where you're following them for a long time and there are like hardships that happen within that time. I don't know anything about this and I haven't looked up any reviews. The only book out of the 3 of these that I've looked up a review for is The Midnight Library, and it was a guy on TikTok that really hated it. So this is now the more current TBR. And oh, and the wager, this is still going to get read because I have the audio for this one, but just not those 4. I also picked up Animal Farm because this cover was really pretty. I love the green and the horses and like the books that have the penguin, the sides that have orange, the spine that has orange. I really like that. There were a lot of really pretty classics at these Turkish bookstores that I went to, but I just settled for one because I've wanted to read Animal Farm. There are so many cool covers for Animal Farm, but I just love the green. All right, I'm going to finish City of Nightmares today, I hope, and start one of these. And if I can't physically read it, since I have the audiobook, I am going to listen to it, but I want the physical copy because with The Measure, I wish so badly that I had the physical copy because I totally would have annotated it and underlined so many things. So I wanted to make sure I had physical copies for these books that I have the audio to. Look at how pretty, like, look at the primary colors. I love primary colors. Okay, I have so much to do today, so I'm going to update you once I finish more books, but so far we finished 2 and halfway through another one. Okay, it's like a week later and I'm going to do my wrap up of my 7 books in 7 days challenge. Now, that being said, I did not meet my goal for this challenge. I read 5 books, but I think I might just switch this to 5 books in 5 days because the last 2 days, like day 6 and 7, I didn't even pick up a book. We were traveling, we went to Istanbul, and there was just not as much time as I thought there was going to be to read. I thought there was going to be a lot more downtime, and there wasn't, which is fine. But I might just kind of like switch it in the title to 5 books in 5 days. Even though I did not succeed in this challenge, I do want to do it again, and I still want to post this because I was really excited about this challenge and excited to try it again when I have a better week to do this challenge. It was not a very good week to commit to this challenge, but I had a lot of fun trying to like read a book a day. Now, for this challenge, I started with a TBR. That TBR completely changed because of Speechify and my word count and having audiobooks for different books. And I'm so happy with the books that I read. I'm sorry. Batsy's like, I love you, but you're like walking all over my laptop and hitting the mic. Right there, baby. Lay down. Instead of reading fantasy and nonfiction, which was my plan, I read a lot of fiction, adult contemporary fiction, and literary fiction. I'm such a series person, like fantasy series and just fantasy or horror in general, that I don't read a lot of fiction, just like contemporary fiction or speculative fiction. And I really liked the books that I read, and I'm like discovering this new genre. Like now I'm looking up books in that genre. And some of these books that I read are new favorites. So I was pleasantly surprised. The first book that I read is one of my new favorite books, and that is The Measure by Nikki Erlich. Oh my gosh, this book. I think about it like every day. I cannot wait to have a physical copy. I did listen to the audiobook. I regret not having a physical copy because I would have annotated the heck out of that book. It was so good. And the thing is, from the cover, I would never pick up this book, but Sid Bookworm recommended it, and I was like, okay, she liked it. We have pretty similar tastes, so I picked it up, and I was like, oh my gosh, this book is so good. It made me cry. Like, new top favorite book for this year for sure, and maybe overall. And I'm very excited to buy the book. So started off really strong with The Measure. I loved it. She always wants to be like right here, which I love, but when I'm editing or filming a video, it makes it really hard. After The Measure, I read Normal People. And I know that like everyone loved this book. I liked it. It was, again, a lot of these books that I read were emotional books. It was very heavy. Like, the topics that were talked about in this book were, I was like, whoa. I did not give it 5 stars. I gave it 4. I just don't think it was like new favorite book. Like, I know a lot of people really loved it when it came out. There is a show. I want to see the show because I want to see how it was adapted to a show. So that was the second book that I read. Then I read The Midnight Library. This, again, I think about it often. I annotated it. This book had me like sobbing tears. Like, I was crying. I was reading it in bed, and I had to like twice. I had to physically put it down and just like cry. And Tyler was like, "What's wrong?" And I read him. I can't even read it. But I read him a part of the book that I was like, Tyler, this was like written for me. Like, this is literally like the book is speaking to me. And it's such a beautiful book. And I actually learned through TikTok that some people really dislike this book. Like, it was like you love it or hate it. And I loved this book. I also really like the UK edition. The US edition is pretty too, but I like this edition. It's like It's a Wonderful Life, kind of. But so much better. I want to read more of his books. I already have some like on my radar. I'm looking for them in bookstores. But it was an emotional book. It's one of those books that, again, makes you think about life. What would your life look like if you had chosen this path or a million other, like, any small decision could change your life so much. That's what this book is about. And what would your life look like if you chose those things? But so good. It's also so short. And yeah, it had me, like, not just like tears, like I was like crying. It's one of my top reads of the year and might be one of my favorite books of all time. I don't know. This and The Measure, so good. Emotional. Just warning you. Then I read Animal Farm. I've wanted to read Animal Farm for a while. This is a classic. I love this Penguin edition. I want to go back to this bookstore and get more books in the Penguin in this like edition. Specifically like Alice in Wonderland, because my edition of Alice in Wonderland sucks. And like, this is so pretty. I'll just read you the back. It's such a short book. I don't want to like say, everything that happens, but the downtrodden animals of Manor Farm overthrow their master and take over the farm themselves. They imagine it the beginning of a new life of freedom. But as a ruthless group of pigs takes control, they discover that they are hopelessly ensnared once more. I really liked it. I think, what did I give it? It was not 5 stars for me. I gave it 4 stars. I really liked that it was a quick read. Parts of this kind of made me laugh. Like, I was like, oh, yeah, you're doing exactly what you tried to avoid in like captivity as, farm animals. It was good. And I'm trying to read more classics. I think this was a good short one to read, and I want to get more in this beautiful Penguin edition. Like, look at that. It's so pretty. The last book that I read was Clara and the Sun. And it's funny because, like, this whole, the other two I don't have physically, but they're also like yellow and blue. So it was like a very primary color week of reading. But Clara and the Sun, I gave it 3.75 stars. Now, I hate that Goodreads only gives us 1 through 5, but I was like, this isn't a 3 and this isn't a 4. I was like, it's like almost a 4, but so I'm just going to start putting on Goodreads, like when I comment, what my actual rating is so I can remember. But I'm going to read the back. From her place in the store, Clara, an artificial friend with outstanding observational qualities, watches carefully the behavior of those who come in to browse, and of those who pass in the streets outside. She remains hopeful a customer will soon choose her, but when the possibility emerges that her circumstances may change forever, Clara is warned not to invest too much in the promise of humans. That's Batsy. I'm so sorry. It was very interesting. This is speculative fiction. I did enjoy it. We really love Clara. Like, to the end, like the end, I was like, oh, she's such a good like character. But it has this kind of, and I think it might just be that it's artificial intelligence, like, or artificial intelligence. It kind of feels eerie, almost icky, but that's because of the humans. Like, it kind of gave me weird feelings, but I think it's supposed to. She learns that not all humans are great, and it is sad. There's a lot going on in this book as well, and I think it was really well written. I really enjoyed it, and I want to read more speculative fiction, but it was not 5 stars for me, and I think it's because it just kind of gave me this uncomfortable feeling. So I read 5 books in 5 days. I did not read the last 2 days, so I think that's what like I said already, changed the title to, but I had a really fun time doing this challenge. I definitely want to do it again and just have more time next time. If you're still watching and you don't know what to comment down below, you can put a little cat in the comments, a cat emoji for the Midnight Library, because I love that there's a little cat here and it is significant in the book. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.